It is another beautiful day in West Central Wisconsin, and welcome into season 2, episode 45 of Bang on the Drum. If you are listening at this point, please like, subscribe, download our podcast. Like we always say, we don't look at the numbers like way too much, but it does make us feel better when we do get some numbers. So you could be doing a good deed to us. So just go out there, like, subscribe, download, put it on other people's phones as well. If you actually do like us, share us with other people, and we appreciate it. But I'm going to try not to be too annoying with that stuff and too gimmicky. But anyways, I am your host, P-Dog, joined alongside my co-host, M-Dog. And how are you doing today, M-Dog?
I'm doing well. I think for the most part, my week's gone fairly well. And so
let's get into it. What are those overs and unders that you have for
all right. So my under Friday night, right? So the day after we recorded last week. So we did do the special with the Sweet 16 running backs, right? Go check that one out. It's a really good episode. Joined by a couple guys, but Friday night, the kid gets sick, runs into my room, pukes on my face, like not like full blown on my face, but he pukes all over my shoulder. It splatters all on my face in the middle of the night. It was really not ideal. Like it was one of the probably worst experiences I've had with a kid being sick, right? So I've gotten puked on a few times, not that big a deal, but like he wakes me up, pukes all over me, and then like I got to clean up all of his mess, and then I got to go like get in the shower because I'm covered in puke.
Oh boy! So he woke you up and then puked on you?
Yeah, he ran from his room, so he didn't puke all over his bed, just all over my bed.
Oh, that's awesome. But like, what was your advice to him? Like, hey man, you go to the toilet with this, or like,
So no, like I don't know what. Just don't puke on me. Puke on the floor. It's much easier to clean up off the floor than it is off of me. I don't know. Like I don't know if I was giving him advice. I was not very like thrilled in the moment, right? Because he wakes me up, and I'm like in reaction mode and not like thinking like a dad mode. So I wasn't very pleased. So my wife was much more sensitive about the fact that he puked and that I should be sympathetic towards him, and so she was much better about stuff like that. But
so did it wake up both of you, and then you both had to deal with the situation, or was it just?
Yeah, we both got up and were dealing with the situation, and then like so he gets in the bathtub and like I'm cleaning up all the like blankets and everything that like ended up on the floor, sheets and stuff like that. I'm cleaning all that stuff off our bed while she's getting him in the bathtub and stuff. So
I think you should take that as a good sign, though. I don't think I would have went to my dad if I was sick when I was a kid. It would definitely be my mom getting thrown up on in that situation.
Yeah, so I'm next to the door.
Okay.
Right? So like he comes in and he like runs right into my bed. I'm right there, and that's why. But like he would come to me. I don't think that he has an issue with that. But yeah, you're right. I'm probably in the same boat that like mom's getting thrown up on for sure.
Do your kids do the things when they can't sleep and they come in and try to like sleep in your bed and stuff like that? I've been hearing a lot of that lately.
So we don't get too much like middle of the night movement, right? So every now and again, like we will bring them into our bed because we don't want to jump in their bed. But I'll go sleep in kids' beds like kind of a lot when they're like screaming and like crying. I'd rather lay in their bed and then get out of their bed and go back to bed, or like just sometimes I just fall asleep in there. But they don't like come to my bed too often, like after their sleep. But they will. Like if I would let them, all three of them would be sleeping in my spot in the bed right now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure right now as we're speaking, my 9-year-old is sleeping in my spot. I'll have to move her when I go upstairs.
Do you ever just say screw it? I'm just gonna go sleep in her bed.
No, I always move her back.
See, I think I would get fall into that trap enough where I would just be like, screw it. I'm too lazy for this shit right now. Like I'm just gonna lay in her bed. Everyone's gonna sleep better because of this situation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't like the idea of not sleeping with my wife though.
Yeah, you like to get that morning stuff in before the kids wake up.
Well, yeah, right.
A little smooch on the cheek,
just one, no more than one. But like, I don't know. I think I have like a weird attitude. Maybe not weird attitude about it. Maybe it's normal. But like, I just think like it's important probably for your overall marriage to sleep next to your wife.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. But
so like when my wife was pregnant with our first kid, like I probably didn't like she would move beds a lot because like she was uncomfortable all the time. Right, so it's hard for her to sleep and like things like that. So she would just move beds like so that she could kind of like maneuver inside the bed so she could get comfortable. And so
yeah, I would think it's like once you move outside of the room because there's like an actual issue that you have like sleeping next to the person because I'm sure there's some like resentment when that's going on. But like when I do this and stuff, like I kind of give my wife credit that she's like doesn't care that I'm staying up late and just doing whatever I want, which maybe does sound kind of weird. But then on the same hand, like I don't like to go in like pitch blackness and like wake her up, like plug my phone in and stuff like that. So if it ends up being like too late and I know I'm like a little tipsy or something, which whatever, we haven't been drinking as much as we used to on the show, but I'll try to keep it cool and just be like, okay, I'm gonna punt today, and I'll just not sleep in the room tonight just because I don't want to wake her up and interrupt her sleep because she gets up early as shit. Like she gets up way too early, like 4 o'clock.
Which is part of the reason that we do this in the evenings too, right? Is because both of our significant others are asleep.
Yeah, that's true.
And then for my over, so I had an interview with a committee that I want to get onto. So it's a crisis negotiation team committee, right? So like if something pretty negative would happen inside the facility where somebody would like lock themselves into their cell and try to like be on like the verge of harming themselves, like I'd be one of the guys that would go in and try to talk them down, and they train you to do stuff. Or if like a staff member was doing something like that, like same deal. In theory, I could do it in the community with the training I would get there. And then so I had an interview for that, and I felt pretty good about it. So I feel like I crushed my scenario piece of it, right? So they give you like a scenario before you've been trained to do anything, and like felt really good about it. So now I don't get it all. It would be fucking terrible.
You're jinxing yourself right now. I thought you were getting accepted to the big titty committee. I was pretty proud of you there. So you just got to sit there and be like, yeah, those are some big titties. Or
that's I think if that's all you got to do for the big titty committee, I mean, I'm probably there already. Just watch those are nice.
Those are big ones. Yeah, I don't even know how good I would be at that one. They're like, yeah, like I think those are good. I don't know if I'm good at judging that stuff because I think I'm like just like, oh yeah,
I love it, right?
but so with getting accepted to the committee, if you do get accepted, does that come with like a pay raise or anything, or is that just like
no? So it'd be good training. If I wanted to move to like another facility, I think it would be like an exceptional piece of my resume. Right, I could probably go do a few other things in the right. So like it'd be like real like crisis negotiation stuff too is what I'd be trained on. Right, it wouldn't just be like facility specific. like cities and police departments have guys that do this stuff. Like I feel like there's like a movie or multiple movies about it, but it's a guy that gets on the phone and is like trying to talk like people who are holding hostages down. Right?
Oh yeah, I
But
mean
it probably
like
will
a
never
ton
get
of
that
movies.
serious. Yeah.
Die Hard.
And I feel like that's not what they call him as a crisis negotiator, but like I can't think of what they call him in the movies.
Yeah, but you're always the guy in the movie that gets like punked though, like because someone from the FBI comes in and they're like, "Fuck this guy, he doesn't know shit about this. We're gonna go in there with guns and blast him." Like
For sure. Yeah.
and then you'll be the one that's right. So you get to be the good guy in the movie at least, though.
Well, yeah.
That's kind of
cool. That's what I've been trying to do my whole life, is just be the good guy in the movie.
All right, I'm gonna give you a scenario right now. So
okay.
I'm on the top of my roof, and the Packers just lost another NFC Championship game on a muffed fumble recovery on an onside kick.
So just the Seattle Seahawks scenario.
It happened again though, but this time the team was, let's say, 15,
the Vikings.
We were 15-2. One obviously had the number 1 seed, won the NFC North. The Vikings scraped into the playoffs somehow. Let's say they were 9-8. They just had a winning record. Everything broke their way. And then the shittiest team possible to make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC just made it to the Super Bowl. So heartbreaking loss. Looks like the Vikings are going to be able to go into the Super Bowl, win their very first Super Bowl. And I am ready to jump. Go.
Well, Pat, just get the fuck over it. It's goddamn sports. Come on. No, I mean, like, I don't know. I can't.
I just head first dove right into
yeah. So we might need to do that if that's the fucking scenario. We get beat by the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. I might just be like, yeah, I'm fucking going too. You want to hold hands?
Oh yeah, we can do it together. That'd be kind of comforting too.
See, I made you feel better already. Look at that.
Yeah, so you're hired. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, how'd your week go?
Yeah, my week has been good. So had a great weekend. I'll bump it. So it was my birthday. What day was my birthday? Monday. So we celebrated St. Patrick's Day. Friday, went out day drinking. Always a good time on St. Patrick's Day. Great weekend. But I'll roll into my unders and overs. I just remembered that I forgot to even put that in here. And I had a great weekend before my under started. And then my under today is been having my I'll just dial. So normally I plug my phone in. Like I said, my under's been that my cord is like coming unhooked. So like it just switches the radio, switches back to my phone.
Yeah,
like
fucking
just,
terrible when
yeah, shitty connection. But dialed into, like I used to have this like soul station in, and I would hear some like funny stuff and whatever. I don't usually touch like what radio station it is. And I think the only reason I changed the station is because I went over to drill whatever. Too many details. Anyways, I'm on a country station right now. And I was like, I'm not messing with my phone because I only had a 5-minute drive from the gym back to my house. No, I was going to Subway back to my house. And this song came on and it just blew my mind to a level of like shittiness that I've like, I don't even have words to describe it. But anyways, the song was Wait in the Truck.
Yep.
You heard that song?
It's on the radio probably every 45 minutes if you ever listen to the radio.
Oh,
like if you listen to one station, like that's a repeat song. It's probably top 15 on the playlist around here anyway.
But if you haven't heard this song, like the amount of stupidity that this song like just spouts off just blows my mind. And I say this knowing that like people that know we have a podcast probably say the same shit about us.
Oh,
but so usually I'm like pretty sensitive to the fact, not sensitive, but like I'm self-aware enough to the fact like where I was like, okay, we probably put out some pretty shitty content that like people cringe at or whatever.
Yeah, they're probably like embarrassed for us, right? And we just don't get
it. Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to put it. But yeah, exactly though. And that's like how I felt listening to the song. Like I was like, are you kidding me? Like you wrote this song and you thought it was good. Like who told you that this concept that's in this song? And if you haven't heard this song, it's about a guy that met a girl. Like he was just driving down the street and he seen someone that like looked like they got the shit kicked out of them. Which good for him. He stopped and he was like, hey, are you all right? And she was like beat up. And then he was like, who did this to you? And she tells him, or he says something like, I kind of know. And then she at least tells him where the guy who did this to her lives. Dude just walks right into his house and shoots him in the fucking head. No questions asked.
He knocks first. The guy just didn't answer the door, so he kicked the door in.
Oh shit. So yeah, like kicks the door in, just shoots the guy right in the head, doesn't ask a fucking question, and then goes to jail for the rest of his life because he found this girl on the side of the street that got beat up. Like how fucking stupid. Like whose fantasy is that? Like
so it's a popular song. And maybe it's because like the I don't know how like what, but not the lyrics, but the melody is good. Maybe because the melody is good, like it just like,
just waiting the truck.
Yeah, I don't know. Like yeah, you got a good point. Like it's
all right when
like
told me to just wait in the truck. Just wait in the truck.
See, and I think I thought that song was like a girl we met at a bar, right? That was just like fucked up because this dude had like beat the shit out of her so often and like been like a complete piece of shit.
Yeah, and I know like whatever songs are like up into interpretation and stuff. So like I dug into this shit a little bit in the music video at least.
I definitely didn't.
There's a music video and he's just driving his truck. It like starts with him like calling this person from prison. I assume it's like the girl from prison. And but like I think like in the songs and the lyrics, I say I dig into a lot. Like I read some of the lyrics just because I like couldn't believe like it was actually what it was. Like I was like, oh, it's gonna like allude to like he was her brother or he was like someone that knew this person on like a deeply personal level. Like which whatever. It's not like I guess here nor there like with that, but still even I hate putting like our people in these situations, but like say if it's like your sister or something and she's getting like the shit kicked out of her and stuff. It's not let's go kill this guy with a gun and then ruin the rest of your life. Like it's like, yeah, let's take care of this. Like let's call the cops.
Let's go to the police, right? Yeah.
Like where oh god. And like I said, I couldn't come up with like the right words for like how fathomed I was of how dumb this was. And I hope I'm saying that dumb enough for this song to like think it like and it's like you said, it's getting played on the radio like consistently. So it's gotta be like some sort of fantasy, like, oh, I protected this girl by killing this guy. Like
I would say for sure 100%. Like that's a thing with some people, right? So and I would argue that we're fairly well-adjusted humans, right? Like you and I, like I think that we don't make super like impulsive decisions very often. Not that we can't, but like
or
we're
have
not
it
like
in the past, I guess. Yeah.
right. But like we're not those guys. Like I think that we like measure a situation a little bit better than some people can, right? So I work with a lot of guys that can't fucking deal with a situation, right? So a situation pops up and they just do like the dumbest thing possible all the time. And that's probably just what this guy did. Like, oh, somebody hit you. All right, let's go. We're gonna just kill him.
Yeah, that it just blows my mind. And I guess like in the song it alludes to like a guy grabbed a gun, but like you gotta also like know like you kick in someone's door, like
If you kick in my like I don't have guns like just hanging out next to my
yeah,
couch or nothing, but like if you kick in my door, like
it's
I'm
on,
probably gonna try to fight you, right? I mean, like I'm not shooting anybody because I don't keep my firearms next to my couch because I'm not generally very scared of that happening. But like I would be like trying to hurt someone that broke in my door. And like that guy in the song comes in, he already has his gun up, right? Like he is prepared to shoot him immediately because he just says something along the lines of like before he could get his hands on his 12 or something like that, I shot him, right?
Yeah. And the guy just had a 12 gauge just sitting right there. Like,
and then he stole the cigarettes. What a piece of shit.
That's the only part I dislike about this. Like, you kill a guy and you like digging his shirt for a pack of cigarettes. Like I assume the guy had them like in his like pocket and
yeah, they're all covered in blood and shit.
Yeah. And then he just sat there calmly. He was like, "Yeah, that was worth the rest of my whole entire life." Right there. I'll smoke a couple of his cigarettes, but yeah, that song. Oh man, it just it.
Is that the type of song that gives country music like a really bad name?
I hope so because that like I love '90s country, and there's probably some songs that I will tell you that I like love and
they're dumb
like
as fuck, right?
Yeah, that you could like poke holes in and like like you said, I feel like we're fairly reasonable. Like we would like give you that, and I would chalk it up to like nostalgia of like doing something fun like while I was listening to that song or something like that. But
so I think that melody plays a big part in like why we enjoy a song or that we do enjoy a song, right? So Pumped Up Kicks, and I can't remember who it's by, is a song about a school shooting.
Yeah, that song's pretty sick too.
It's like fucked up, but like it's got a like really upbeat, like happy, like melody, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, pumped up kicks, better run, I'll run my bullet. Like that's fucked up, right? Like you're shooting the athletes, is basically what, or the rich kids, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, that song.
But it's like really upbeat and like a good listen, and so that could be a big piece of the reason that it's actually a good listen to.
Yeah, no, and so I mean, if that contradicts my point, that contradicts my point. Like I do kind of enjoy.
No. So like I think it's terrible that melody goes with
like, the messages,
the message, where like the message in this one. Like I don't know that I think that the song is like awesome. You know what I mean? Like that I need to hear it. The truck one, but like there might be some people that are just caught in that and they're not really paying attention to what the words are. Like the words are there and they hear them, but like the whole message that's in it, they might not give two fucks about.
I think that's the part of it that gets me even more. Is like the message isn't even hit at all. Like it's barely even singing. It's like just like talking over a melody. like
who sings it? Do you know?
I think his name's like Hardy or something.
Okay, yeah, I just know that right now. Morgan Wallen has like the top like 5 singles for country music. Like he's like got the top in the top 10. He's like controlling it with his last album. But
yeah,
so I was wondering if it was him, but it's not. So
I've heard that too. Is like he put out like an album with like 36 songs on it, and 30 of them are in the top 100. So
he's crushing it.
Yeah, I might have to check him out. But no, I think it's like a fairly one-hit wondery as of right now guy who put it out from the little bit of research I did. But yes, just mind-blowingly dumb that is captivating people. And I probably spent like too much time on it, but it just blew my mind. And it is definitely the songs that give country music a bad rep for like reasonable people. Like I said, I enjoy country music, but then there's just some things you can't defend, and that's just like
this is one of them.
Yeah, like how could you? How could you? But just wait in the truck, Mike. It'll get better. All right.
I'm in the truck.
I did have an over though, so and I spent way too much time on my under, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit faster on my over. So I had to watch The Matrix for a school project that I was doing. Finally understand The Matrix. I did. So
is this because you had to write a report on it then? Is that why you understand it?
I think so, and it's like I actually cared to watch it. Like so The Matrix came out when I was 9. What, you were 13, and the cool part to me was like watching the guy like lean backwards while like the bullets go in slow motion, and they kind of have those like rings around him. I think they called it like bullet time when it came out. So I was like, okay, that's pretty fucking sick. So you're playing dodgeball in gym class, someone throws a ball and you can dodge it by like leaning backwards. Like you look cool as shit doing that thing.
Yes, yep.
So I think that's like what I cared about when I saw The Matrix the first time. Like I didn't realize. So it's a philosophy class, and I'm 100% the dude that learns like one thing in college and then talks about it like way too much. I'd be the guy getting schooled in what's the movie? How you like them apples?
Good Will.
Yeah. So I'd be the guy getting schooled. He's like, you talk about Kant and Locke and Socrates when you could have learned this in the library. But anyways, I had to read like shit about like Plato's work and like now I'm not gonna say it right. Descartes' work and stuff, like what the movie's actually based on. And I'm a dumbass. Like I'll give that like right off the bat. Is like I never understood like when they were in the Matrix and like when they were out of the Matrix. Like I didn't get that the real world, and like I guess I probably just never paid attention to it because I didn't really give too much of a shit about it. But like so he's like born into the Matrix. So like that was another part that confused me. And like the real world is like super shitty and they're like tunneling through the earth and stuff. So
like, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, like, and I was like, that must all be the fake stuff because that stuff seems fake to me, where the Matrix seems real to me, which I didn't get. That was like the whole point of the movie. It's like, we could be in the Matrix.
Yeah,
it would piss me off so much if I was in the Matrix right now, and we were making a podcast that 10 people listen to, and that was like all the system like gave to you.
Would it be allowing us to have? Yeah, interesting.
It kept us content on what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong.
This is what keeps us content, right? Yeah. Like because in reality, wouldn't it be fairly easy to make everyone in the Matrix super content by just giving them everything? Like, so your individual reality could be Elon Musk's, right? Yeah, and every person's could, and you just have all the side characters doing like other stuff.
They address that in the movie though. Is like it's part of like human nature to like enjoy the struggle and be able to bitch about shit and like be discontent with stuff. Because like the Agent Smith says to Morpheus in the movie, you know what the original Matrix was? Like, this is a reboot of the Matrix. And the original Matrix was paradise. Like, it was giving people so they had nothing to complain about because it's AI building this world for people. And he said like it didn't work because people didn't have anything to bitch about, and that was like
so then
something
your brain like goes to mush or something like that.
No,
and then the battery doesn't work.
It's just like you're not content. It's basically the theory of like money can't buy happiness type deal. It's like you can be rich as you want, but like you have to earn happiness. Like it's what you hear about people winning the lottery and shit. Like how everybody thinks it's gonna be amazing, but like usually people who win the lottery don't enjoy it. I've done no research on that, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It makes a little bit of sense to me, but like I feel like if I win the lottery, like I'm not gonna complain too much. But then you don't see the problems that come with that.
Yeah, so Pat, there is another country song that you might enjoy, and it's doesn't sound like you're listening like super often, but it's money can't buy happiness, but it can buy beer.
But it can buy me a beer. I could only assume what that song entails. I think I could write a country song now.
It could buy me a beer. It can buy me a boat, like
I think
a Yeti 110. No, maybe that's not. That might be a different one. But it's like a cooler to put the beer in. Can buy all this shit so we can have fun, right?
Oh yeah, and you can't write a country song nowadays. Now you got me off on it without putting truck beer or like one of those words in it. Is like went down to the store and got me a 6-pack, put it in the back of my truck, and like people just fucking just rip their cocks off to that shit. Like, oh, you got a 6-pack of beer and put it in the back of your truck. Like,
I can't believe it. That sounds awesome.
I'm gonna go home and do that.
Do you like that when we talk about country music, we definitely go with an attempted Southern accent?
Yeah.
I'll just give it an attempted because
Yeah, I think it's fair. Like,
yeah,
can you name a country singer from the North that you know is from the North?
No, but and like we were talking about Morgan Wallen earlier. My opinion on him is, so I listen to the number one hits from today every Friday, right? So like whatever's the number one hit this week, every Friday we listen to that at work. It's one of my groups that I do. And Morgan Wallen, he's just a guy that sings the way I expect like someone from the deep South to talk.
Where do you think he's from?
It's probably like Arkansas or something, like Hickville, Arkansas.
Sneedville. So he's from a ville. He's from Sneedville, Tennessee. So
okay,
yeah, Tennessee, man, they're musically inclined. But anyway,
yeah, I think it's part of the culture, right?
Let's get off me hating some country music nowadays. But yeah, I understood the Matrix, so that felt good. And I think that's as deep as I will go into my override. Other stuff, I think the Matrix kind of messed me up a little bit once I understood what was actually going on in the movie and being like, oh shit, that could be like real life. And then the philosophy on top of it that I've read that these theories or whatever ideas are based on. And then sure shit, like the next morning afterwards, where I was like, I get that. Like I start seeing like way too much shit glitching in my Matrix, where I'm like, shit, I'm probably in the fucking Matrix. Because we've talked about like signs on the show before, and my sign that we've talked about before, like seeing a cardinal being like, okay, I think today is gonna be like all right. And then these cardinals, there was like I've never seen so many cardinals in my life. Like there was an aggressive amount of cardinals, and then there was one. So I was doing a run this morning, and there was like one that wouldn't get out of my way. So like it's like super foggy and ominous looking outside. So I'm like, is there gonna be like an alligator around the corner or some shit like that? So I'm looking for these like signs like all day long. And then I'm driving in my car to school, and I don't know. So we talk about the Magna Carta probably a little bit too much on the show. Just
like it's your favorite trivia question, right?
Yeah. And so I'm thinking about like Plato's Republic and like how the Declaration of Independence. I think there was a podcast that like triggered my thoughts of like how the Declaration of Independence was written, and it was a lot of like Plato's Republic and like the Magna Carta like had a heavy influence on the Declaration of Independence. And then I'm like Magna Carta in my head. I'm like 1215, June 15th, 1215. Like I know that, and I sit down in my math class, and he's talking about I gotta remember what. So like Norman window. So we're going over a theory in calc like how to maximize a Norman window, which is basically like a church window, stained glass window. And like, and he was like, this was big like during like the Magna Carta and stuff. And then he starts like referencing like the Magna Carta and shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like everything I'm thinking, like somebody else is fucking saying now. So we might be in the Matrix. Like you might be a figment of my imagination. I might be a figment of your imagination.
So okay, so then it's just a video. Then we're just playing a video game, right? So how do we get better at the video game?
You gotta accept that's the whole Matrix, dude. And that's the thing that I like about it is like I kind of enjoy the Matrix more now. I enjoyed it a whole lot more because like I get what's going on. It's like they basically had to break his brain to be like, hey, when you go back into what your concept of the real world is, you have to understand that it's not the real world, and you can do whatever the fuck you want in that world because it's not real. It is a video. Like,
oh yeah, you're right. That is like basically the whole concept that like it's Toon World, like on Space Jam.
Yeah,
right? They have to break Michael Jordan's mind so they can dunk it at the end. Like you're in Toonville, like just like stretch that arm out. Interesting.
Yeah, and like if you can think you can do it, you can do it. So there's some words of wisdom from the Matrix there.
But yeah, now we just have to figure out how to like actually do it.
Yeah, let's break it.
Because we are in the Matrix.
Let's break it and stay in the Matrix though, because I kind of agree with like the bad guy in the Matrix that wanted to go back into the Matrix. Like he already took the red pill. I think his name's like Cypher or some shit. Yep. And he was like, I'm sick of the real world. Like this real world fucking sucks compared to the Matrix. And he's like, I need to find a way to go back into the Matrix and be a piece of the Matrix. Whatever.
Okay, so one more question about the Matrix. I apologize. Can I be a piece of the Matrix and like manipulate the Matrix the way Neo did?
I think you would.
Or do I have to unplug and then go back in?
You would definitely have to unplug and go back in, else you wouldn't be able to be like reborn enough to, because that's like one of the philosophers' concepts that they cover is like you're born with a blank slate and you learn stuff as you become like as you encounter a dog, you learn what a dog is. As you encounter a door, you learn how a door works. So like right now, say if we were in the Matrix, like everything we've learned is our reality. And
so our mind is limiting what we can do. So what if we just decide to change our mind about that?
I think it
not
would
have to unplug. Or is it impossible to do?
If you could do it, you could do it. But like you would need someone to tell you that you are able to do that. Because say if you stood at the end of a mountain, right? And you jumped off, you know in your head you're toast. Like you're gonna die when the Vikings beat the Packers in the NFC Championship, and you decide to
jump off the building.
Yeah. So like, if you could,
which is what makes you die.
If you could teach your mind that no, I'm not going to die when I jump. This is all fake. Like I'm in a dream right now. I guess it would be like lucid dreaming. Like if the people who can lucid dream that can control their dreams, that would be like. But like I don't know, you can't lucid dream, can you? Like I maybe had a couple times where I felt like I can control my dreams and like I've been able to fly or some shit.
I've tried to do lucid dreaming. I heard a trick on the internet and then it didn't work.
Like in TikTok, but yeah, that's so. To answer your question, I don't think so because your reality is
based on so much shit.
Yeah. No, let's do it. Let's say let's get our numbers from 10 listeners an episode up to 50 listeners an episode, and we'll just will it to be.
Okay.
But you don't know if I'm just feeding you this bullshit.
And I mean honestly,
I'm an agent, like. So I'm super interested in Matrix now. I want more of the. I don't think I've ever seen like the newer ones, but I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole of all Matrix now and see what I can pull out.
I'm just gonna try to break the current Matrix we're in. So, and moving on to that, I'd like get into the Bucks, which is a positive part about our Matrix. We could get the Packers to win the Super Bowl. That'd be amazing. That's the goal of our current Matrix. We're breaking it so the Packers win the Super Bowl. I love it.
If there's ever a year the Packers win the Super Bowl, the Brewers win the World Series, the Bucks win the NBA championship,
you will know Pat and I have broken the Matrix.
We figured it out. But yeah, let's talk about the Bucks here real quick. So Bucks are 2-1 since our last show. Got absolutely thumped against the Pacers, 139 to 123. That game was at home, and then the next game they beat the Raptors 118 to 111, and then they beat the Spurs like the Spurs stole something from them, 130 to 94. All these games were home games. The game that they lost, it was coming off a decently long West Coast trip, so that's what I'm going to chalk that up to. But let's get into that Pacers game real quick. So that's the one the Bucks lost 123 to 139. Bucks came out swinging, looked real good early. Everything was clicking for them. Looked like the Bucks that we've been seeing, but they just ran out of gas. And then to the Pacers' credit, the Pacers played a hell of a game. The Pacers shot 55.7 from the field, 47.8 from the three-point line. And I guess only 60% from the free throw line, but it was enough to hold the Bucks off in this one. And like I said, it was coming off a long trip. I think that had more to do with it than anything, because the Pacers, you want to call them a plus team at this point in time. Like they're a solid team. They're 33 and 38, 13 and 22 on the road. So it is a team that you'd think the Bucks would be able to beat, but they had a good performance from their bench. Looks like our old boys, when they come back to play us, DiVincenzo had a big game when we went to Golden State, and then George Hill decided to show up in this game for the Pacers and score 15 points on us. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to chalk that one up to a long road stand and then come back home and have them settle back in. You want me to just keep rolling through these? They'll get quicker.
Yep, keep it rolling.
All right, then the Bucks play the Raptors, like I said, at home. All the Bucks big dogs were playing in this game. Pretty back and forth game for the most part. The Raptors kind of dominated the third quarter, and then the Bucks just took this game over with about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And it's been like what it has been all year. Giannis is putting up triple-double in that game, scoring 22 points, has 12 rebounds, 10 assists, so dominates the game. And then towards the end, when the Raptors, needed to come up with something, if they did come up with something, the Bucks just hit him with three. Like, it's just like how the Bucks play right now. So if you're in a close game with the Bucks at the end of the game and you think you hit a big three, like you got something coming to you, because everyone on the Bucks seems like they can hit a three. One of my favorite stat lines, like following this stretch, granted Ingles didn't have his biggest game. He only had 6 points in this game, but dude's just popping threes. That's all he does is pop threes and get assists. And I've said in the past, like, I don't know if he's like a good defender or like what keeps him on the floor, but like he's just so smart. Like I guess that's what keeps him on the floor, is like the smartness of how he plays. And so this one he went 2 for 4. I'm gonna say the last one he went like 5 for 6 or something, 4 for 5. I don't know why I got off on such a Joe Ingles tangent on that one, because Giannis was definitely the star of the game. And then, as I said, the Bucks taking over in the fourth with a little bit of time left. Brook Lopez was kind of the guy who did it, dominated in the paint, and then we kicked one out to like Carter. But good game for the Bucks right there. And then we'll be real quick on the Bucks versus Spurs. Spurs dog shit team this year. Bucks, obviously, you've been listening to this, watching the Bucks plus team, just beat the hammered dog shit out of the Spurs. Not much was going wrong for the Bucks in that game. Stat line, let's go with team stat line. So they shot 52% from the floor, 35% from three, and I guess only 54% from the line. But then if you look in the rebounds category, they out-rebounded them, lost in the assist game. But it was one of those games like the stats don't even matter. It's just like a dominant Bucks team. Giannis gets 31 points, 14 rebounds. Middleton gets 19 points, 10 assists. Bucks are fully healthy and they are humming. And yeah, I did finally look it up, and they are favorites to win championship. Okay.
Yeah, should be, in like them being fully healthy and like going forward, doing the right things. This is the right time of year too, right? Like being hot right about now. I think end of April, maybe it's the beginning of April. They're done. What's their record currently?
So they are 52 and 20, and they have
one. So they got 10 games left.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, yeah. So they play 82 games a year, 52 and 20, 72.
Look at you doing your math on the fly like that. So yeah, 10 games left. And that was a good point you brought up. So we don't have the easiest stretch coming up. So we're at Utah, at Denver, at Detroit. I don't think that one's too crazy. At the Pacers, not too crazy. But then we have the Celtics, Philly. So it's not a tough, it's not an easy road necessarily to the 1 seed. They are currently 2.5 games above. I want to say the 76ers. I'm not going to look at it because every time.
But you could if you lock in the 1 seed, you might be able to just like skate those games, not play our superstars, rest up, be ready for the playoffs.
But yeah, I think that's very dependent on how the Celtics and Phillies are playing, and the Sixers are playing.
Yep.
Because we got a game versus both of them where they could both steal back a game. Granted, those games when we run into them are in Milwaukee, so I guess that goes into our favor a little bit. but I don't think the 1 seed is going to be wrapped up in the next 5 games. That's all I got to say. So
okay, yeah, I gotcha.
So it's going to be tough to wrap that up. Maybe the last, because those teams are somewhat common too. Maybe I am actually going to go back on my word just to look at the standings real quick. But yeah, so Boston is kind of struggling. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games, but the Phillies, or wow, I keep calling Phillies. The 76ers are 9-1. Yeah, I'm getting there. 9-1 in their last 10 games. So 76ers are the hottest team in the East right now, and the hottest team in the league. So they're going to be nothing on our heels down the stretch.
All the way right to the end. Yeah. So if I have a team like the Bucks, I don't know if I care what spot I get in at, right? So it's all 7-game series is. Like even if I come in as the 8 seed, I wouldn't feel bad if I was healthy.
Yeah, in looking at the 76ers record, so say you run into them, they end up getting the 1 seed. They're 26-11 at home. They're 23-12 on the road. So it's not like that crazy of a split in the win department. Although the thing that does favor the Bucks is they are a way better home team this year. And I don't know how much you chalk that up to, just coincidence / how much it really is like other factors that are going. But the Bucks are 30-7 at home and then 22-13 on the road. So I mean, a little bit bigger of a jump there. But when it's like go time, this Bucks team is just set up, I think, even better than the team that did win the championship. We have way more depth that can hit threes, way more scorers, way more guys that can like handle the ball. Like when this guy can't play, like it seems like we're gonna be backed into less corners. Like they're gonna be like, oh, Grayson Allen can't defend this player, whatever. That's what I always tend to hear. I've very much been enjoying watching Grayson Allen play basketball throughout this year. So, but yeah, one of the critiques I guess I hear is like he's bad at defending in some situations. So then you have to take him out. But then you got Javon Carter. So and Wes Matthews, Jay Crowder. Like you got guys that can defend. You got guys that can defend and shoot. You got Joe Ingles now. That's like I said, he doesn't seem to make mistakes on the basketball court. Like in my
so which is a big piece of being successful, I think, is when you're not sloppy, right? You can be way more successful.
Yeah. So yeah. If you didn't know, the Bucks are good. That's what I got on the Bucks right now.
Yeah. Speaking of not playing sloppy basketball, the Wisconsin Badgers, which is traditionally what they do, and then this year not as much. But you said you had some stuff about the Liberty game. I don't know if I sat and watched. What day did that even happen?
So I don't remember exactly what day it happened. It was like either Saturday or Sunday, and it was early. No, you're right. It was Sunday, and it was early. And I was very surprised at how invested that I got in this game. I don't remember the stats off the top of my head, but it was definitely a good game. Let me pull it up here real quick. But
yeah, they're not stomping anybody either right now. They're not like killing teams.
No, and the Liberty score was 75-71, but it was definitely kind of like a butthole.
They closed it late.
Yeah, a butthole cruncher game. Because so it's in Madison. This is showing me it was 60% capacity in the Kohl Center, but it definitely sounded more electric than that. But anyways, all I had on it, my big takeaway was I cared more than I thought about this NIT game, and I think it was just because it was such a good game. I went down to the wire. Crowell had 14 points, Wall had 16 points, and then Hepburn went off for 27 points. So it does seem like our big dogs showing up in this tournament are doing it. The big one though is, yes, we're in the Final Four in the NIT, but the Badgers shot 1 of 15 from 3 in this game and still were able. So take it for what it is. I mean, they're playing lesser opponents. Like you don't win a game in the NCAA. I mean,
you might be, if you're a 1 seed, you might be able to win that game, right? And you're playing a 16 or a 15. But most teams that make it and they're not like a conference winner, you're not winning that game.
Yeah.
And even like maybe even so, you don't win them because like those are good teams. They're the teams that win their conference. Those 15 and 16 seeds. It's not like they're bum teams that are finishing last place or something in their conference.
Yeah, they can be dangerous. They know they can win. They know they're good. They're doing this same thing that's done to them to other teams for the most part throughout their season. So if they can smell some blood and water, taste some blood, they're going to be killers. And I mean, we've seen FDU do it, and like they were even in on like a technicality. I can't remember.
So I was listening to it about it today. So I don't remember the team that it was, but they couldn't go because they were Division II last year. And they moved up to Division I, and they're not allowed to be in the postseason in the first year.
Which is stupid shit. Like
it's like dumber than like that's the dumbest rule I've ever heard. Oh, you were too bad last year, so now you don't get to be in the tournament, right? No, so like you were playing lesser competition last year, so now you're out. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
Confuses me. So then they played Oregon on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. It doesn't matter when they played them. They beat them 61-58. They played the last, or I shouldn't say the last, from like the 12-minute mark, maybe to like the 4-minute mark, when I was like really focused on it and paying attention. They were playing really fast. They weren't concerned about like the slow, methodical play that they have been basically my whole life when it comes to Wisconsin. Outside like maybe 2014, 2015, 2016, they played pretty fast during those years, but they were playing really fast. And then maybe the last like 2 or 3 minutes, they slowed it down like they normally do. Klesman had a really nice game. Hit a big 3, I think, late to put them ahead and really kind of solidify the win. I think he put them up 1, and then they went to the free throw line for free throws to finish it off late. But very enjoyable game. Oregon looked like a pretty good team. They were the 1 seed in the NIT, one of the 1 seeds in the NIT, and the Badgers stood and traded blows with them. I get that the Badgers are 2 seed, but still.
I think it's 3.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure.
I thought they were 2, but it doesn't matter, right? They were able to hang with them. I think what this Badgers team is a team that was a couple ball bounces away from making the tournament. Oregon's probably in that same boat, and can hopefully, as a young team, use this NIT win as like a springboard into next year's season.
Yeah, hand up. I didn't realize the Badgers were playing like during the week. I thought the games were going to be on at like a different time. Didn't catch the whole game of this one. I do remember looking at Oregon's floor, but anyways, what you said about Klesman, he seems to be like he's been clutching up because he was the one guy that ended up hitting the 3 against Liberty that did end up being like a big factor, a big game.
Yeah, he's going to be a really good player, and I think he's a pretty good leader as well, is the way it appears.
Yeah, and the Badgers definitely clutched up from the free throw line in this game, and I
And
probably
they have the whole tournament.
Yeah, so yeah,
compared to the season anyway.
12 of 13, with Klesman being a big part of that, going 6 of 7 from the line. But yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they're playing good basketball right now. It's just disappointing that they couldn't play good basketball the last 5 games of the season. Because if they play good basketball the last 5 games of the season, they're basically winning the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, no, that's what that was gonna be my hypothetical. If this team made it, they'd probably be in the Sweet 16 right now.
Other than
easy 1 for 15 against Liberty from 3.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Yeah. All right, we'll move on. Well, no, we won't. Up next, North Texas on March 28th, Tuesday. Yeah, next week will be one of the best sports weeks of the year, I think.
Yeah, get your popcorn ready.
Yep. So, but anyway, moving on. Driving fast and turning left. Martin Truex Jr. finished 19th at Atlanta, I believe. Currently 10th in the standings. Still does need a win. Maybe
get it, MTJ.
Yeah, this week is a road course. I have no idea how he does on road courses.
He's competent, but he's not the greatest. He's a lot better at going straight and turning left pretty fast. But you throw a couple right turns in there, he's all right. He's all right at turning right, but not as good as he is at driving fast and turning left. Yeah.
That's so this week isn't driving fast and turning left. It's driving fast and doing zigzags or something.
Yep. There's some right turn. I wonder if there's any like sharp right turns. Like
just to fuck with them, like hardcore.
To me, the track still has to be kind of like roundish. So I don't think there's any like straight right turns. That's got to throw some of those guys off, like in their cars like that. If there is like a straight up right turn, or like if they had to go around the track in like reverse order, that would definitely fuck with you.
Yeah, is it like the difference between a right tackle and a left tackle?
You think so?
You gotta move to your left versus move to your right.
Yeah, I bet you that would fuck me up because I know.
Oh yeah, like the mechanics of it is probably pretty different actually.
Like your right-handed, left-handed type stuff, especially like as a tackle. Like I know I am not a good basketball player at all, but like if I can catch a ball and I'm moving right, my shooting percentage probably goes up at least 5%. Like I can't.
Only 5. Interesting.
It might be like 20.
Like
I don't know. But yeah, like being able to go right in basketball makes me a lot better of a basketball player.
Yeah, I wonder if like right. I don't know which one would be like right tackles or left tackles, but if there's like one that is predominantly like left-handed.
Yeah, I would think you would want your dominant hand on the outside.
Yeah, one of them
you would want to like keep the like pass blocking wise. I think you would want your dominant hand to be outside. But then I guess guys swim. Yeah, I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know either. But you would think like one would want to be like right hand dominant, and I don't know if it's the left guy or the right guy that would want to be right hand dominant, and then one would want to be the opposite, right?
You would think, but
I think I just hacked the tackle position. Like now we know which, like, is he right-handed or left-handed? That's all we gotta ask.
But I think it's kind of like in the gym, like doing stuff one-handed or two-handed, like kind of where it like doesn't matter. I don't. Maybe you're right. You're probably right. There's probably an advantage to be right-handed or left-handed, like a slight advantage in that.
Well, so like baseball, there definitely is because the mechanics just are fucked up when you're trying to be a lefty. Like you have a choice. You probably do have a little choice, but not a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, just you can see the ball better. Like if you're facing a lefty and you're a righty, because the ball's in his left hand.
Yeah, but you can't even really play second base if you're a left-hander.
Oh yeah, because you kind of gotta like turn and throw. Yeah, definitely.
You have to turn all the way around.
Yeah, I was thinking at bat, but yeah, definitely defensively. And then you can't play catcher as a lefty because I think you can't make the throw to third because you have to step out and throw with your left hand. If you have a right-handed batter, you basically got to make a jump throw every time.
Well, so the throw to third
right. Oh, go ahead.
The throw to third is always pretty tough either way. Even if you're right-handed, you got to kick out at there anyway. But you just probably can't kick in the right way, right? So when you turn to throw to second or third, like you can have your right foot behind you, but to put your left foot behind you is going to kind of fuck you up going to third because that one is already at third. Do you know what I mean? And then on top of that, like if you have to make a throw, the majority of batters, at least at the lower levels, like where we played, right, the majority of your batters are going to be in your throwing lane. Where for right-handed catchers, like only like one or two guys in a lineup are going to be in your throwing lane, where you're going to have to like make sure you're not like smoking the batter in the head with the ball.
Yeah.
So,
and I think like if you look at the MLB, I mean, the steals aren't like what they used to be, and like even what they used to be isn't like it was a rarity of guys stealing bases 30% of the time that they're on base. But if you look at the percentage of guys who stole third base, well, there was a lefty up to bat. I
probably very low.
Yeah, like, it just wasn't happening. But
you probably just didn't even try.
Yeah, it was like an unwritten rule. Like if you get caught stealing third, well, a lefty's up to bat. Like they're just like just leave. Like don't.
Yeah, you can just don't get on the team bus, please. Yeah. All right, so talking about baseball, let's get into our hot in the streets, and we'll start with our baseball hot in the streets.
All right.
Opening day.
You got
opening day is the 30th. So next Thursday is opening day. I believe the Brewers play on opening day as well. So
I'm going to Google that right now and just do Brewers opening day. March 30th. You're right. So against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. So
looks like a W right off the bat.
Yep. Go Brewers.
Started off with a W.
Go Brewers. Go. That's one thing. You're right. They have that song. I enjoy their victory song. The Go Cubs Go. But yeah, we'll get into the World Baseball Classic. So really good game in the championship. USA versus Japan. Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani. I got to see the two Japanese baseball players that I know in Mike, we were talking about before the show. Obviously Shohei Ohtani and then
Hugh Darvish.
Yeah, Hugh Darvish. Got to see them go late. And it was very cool because like they were bringing in. It was like when we talked to Dave Miller on the show, and there was a point in time when now I'm getting all the sports mixed up, but the Diamondbacks had Randy Johnson come on the bullpen where Shohei Ohtani came to get the save in the game, and that's super sick. Like he was playing the game, and then he comes in to save the game. And then
they pulled him out in the 7th, right?
What's that?
They pulled him out in the 7th to put him in the bullpen for a bit. to like warm
Yeah,
up.
and I guess I would have to like go back and look at that again. But that's interesting to me that they could pull him out, put him in the bullpen, and then bring him back in the game. Because usually once you're subbed before in baseball, you're done for. I know
Yeah,
softball
that's a good
has
point.
kind of been a little
They
bit
should not have been
different.
able to play him, I don't think.
I don't
Maybe that's
remember
not the
the
rules
exact
in the World
scenario.
Baseball Classic.
Yeah, and I feel like it definitely should be. Like I don't think you should be able to get pulled from whatever position you are playing, even if it is DH. But now that I think of it, I don't know if he was DHing because that would be a very easy position to send
To
to the
just warm
bullpen.
up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's probably what it was. Is like he was DHing and then went to the bullpen, warmed up, got ready for the ninth inning, walked a guy, got a guy to ground out into a double play, and then struck out Trout to win the game. Which, I mean, what a cooler circumstance for that guy. The Angels, though, like it just blows my mind that they have the two best players in the MLB, and they're like not even sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah. Like, and how do you keep them? Like, if you're like that type of a level of a player, when do you think the last time that actually happened was? When they're like just an awesome player that has signed extended contracts to stay in that city, and the team is just dog shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I remember people were giving Machado guff when he went to San Diego because he took a bag to go to San Diego, and they're like, San Diego sucks. But then Tatis comes on the scene, like, and they turn into
Then they got good. Like,
yeah,
like
and I
super
mean,
good.
yeah, and you would think that that's whatever. San Diego ended up spending some money to get good, and you would think the Angels would do the same thing, but it seems like all the Angels do is like, hey, we got the two coolest toys, like we're gonna sell tickets, and that's all they care about. But I
And
could
there's
be
some baseball
completely
teams
wrong.
that are for sure that like we're gonna sell some tickets.
Yeah,
So who gives a shit?
yeah, let's bring in Ken Griffey Jr. Or that's bad. The Reds.
The
I
Reds
feel
were
like this-
really, really good in the 80s, though.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm
70s
talking
and
about
80s.
when Ken Griffey Jr. came to him. It was like Ken Griffey Jr. outdone. I feel like those teams were even like scrapping first in the playoffs, but I don't think it was so much because Ken Griffey Jr. was there. I think Ken Griffey Jr. was more of come see your tickets. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
but so to the same extent, like Junior goes there. I mean, he got paid a lot of money to go there, but like his old man played there, right?
Yeah,
like,
there's some nostalgia. Yeah, because they got to play together for a
yeah,
stint
for the Mariners.
Oh yeah, so never mind.
Yeah, I mean, so Griffey was probably on the Mariners for 6-7 years.
Yeah, his first contract, which in baseball is like till you're 40, and then you're like, oh, you can leave after you're 40. But that's all I got for baseball. So
all right, so in hockey news, the Badger women won their 7th national title over the weekend, and so this time was like they weren't even like they made the tournament. I don't know if it's called like the Frozen Four tournament or whatever, but like then they had to go on the road. They didn't have any home games. They weren't like ranked super well, and then their goalie just kind of stood on her head and dominated.
So they have to win 4 games. So what would that be? 16? So because you go from 16 to 8 to 4 to 2. Yeah. So you got to make the 16. And yeah, so I didn't know that fact about it, that they weren't like a favorite to do it. Because I feel like the only time I hear about them is when they win a national championship, which they tend to do a lot of times. So they won the national championship in 2006, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2019, 2021, 2023. They made the Frozen Four, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to count in front of you, but it's
because he doesn't know how.
All right, I'll do it just to prove you guys wrong. So 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, 2020, 2023. So that many times, Mike. How many times was that?
I couldn't count that high.
Like, yeah, no shit. Like they just make it every.
Yeah, it's like that's what they do.
Yeah. So,
hey,
crazy.
Men's hockey, get your shit together.
Yeah, the ladies are putting you to shame. So yes, that's awesome. Another national title for the Badgers. And then just getting into tournament news. So I was watching the game before the show started. Then we had Marquise Noel for Kansas State. Putting down Michigan State, and he put up 20 points, 19 assists, and 5 steals in that game. And then he spells his name. Very goofy. The other game was Arkansas, UConn, and UConn just beat the living shit out of Arkansas. And I am not up on what's going on between.
FAU is up 49-41.
Okay.
Yep. FAU is winning. Florida Atlantic's beating Tennessee 49-41. They're dragging them into the mud, as Tennessee like to say that they did to the Dukies. And then Gonzaga is down 40-51 against UCLA, which is hurting my heart a little bit, just because I try and win money on Gonzaga. So
yeah, we got the upset alert. Fully ready to roll. But
yeah, and so in that one is Alabama's in that one, I think, right? No, it must not be.
Yeah, I got to pull up a bracket to see the sections of it. But we did have a bet on the last show that we can go over while these brackets come up. So we bet on all of the Friday games. We could have put the Saturday ones in there as well. But anyways, we're not going to go game by game. Long story short, Mike went 5-10, and I went 9-6. We don't even have to put the bing bongs up. I smoked him. So after Mike's Lent retreat,
so I'm gonna say that probably the 13th, Thursday, April 13th, I'm going to take probably 3 or 4 shots to start the show, and we'll see where the show goes from there.
Yeah, he's gonna be drunker than John on the pro wrestling bracket breakdown there. But yeah, I still have a bet to pay off. I'm still looking for a 10K. I found one, and then something came up that weekend where my wife is doing another athletic feat, and I'm gonna go watch that instead of drinking beer out of my shoe after running 10K. So I need to find a 10K.
Are you gonna drink a beer out of your shoe when she completes her athletic feat?
I guess that would
be a celebration.
Fair. That would be cool. Maybe I'll take her shoe. No, she won't want beer in her shoe. So
I think that you should just do it as like then like somebody has to film it or film it. Let's record it, right? So here's the weird part. Like if you were like dressed up and like just like cheering her on for her athletic feat, and then you like just started losing your mind and did the shoey, that would be kind of amusing, right?
That'd probably be better too.
She'd probably be embarrassed or something too, which might not be so good.
Yeah. She'd handle it. She'd be all right. She'd get over it.
You've embarrassed her before, is what you're telling me.
Oh yeah. I'm an embarrassing person to hang out with. Yeah, I think that is all we have for the show. You got anything?
No, thanks everybody for listening. And if you're doubting the Brewers, the Badgers, the Bucks, or the Packers, you can eat our shorts. Roll it.